Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be going over my second round game of the 2020 Midwest Open. If you saw my first game, it was kind of a one-sided match. So hopefully this game is not only more interesting, but also a better learning experience. My opponent for the second round is Kiren Polara. Hopefully one of those is right. We're both 1-0, so yeah, let's get into it. I am white, she is black. So very standard opening, especially nowadays. Take the 3-3, blocks, plays here. I could attach here, but it would give her the option of playing a very complicated Joseki, which I wanted to avoid. So I just simply play here. And she blocks, so thankfully we got a very simple variation, and then takes the other corner. So this is very standard nowadays. Yeah, blocks. Now I could have done, so I did this one because I prefer this one over this variation. So I was expecting after this, she would dive and I would do something. Maybe this. Then this again would be normal. Maybe she would take the 3-3. Maybe she would protect the left side. Something. But she actually extended, and I was just saying how I do not like this variation. Not only I don't like it when black can Atari and then come down, but because we have a symmetrical position in the upper left and upper right, I felt like if I did something like this, if she wanted, she could just do it right back. And I didn't like this symmetrical feel. I wanted to get, advantage, or just not have it be that simple, I guess. So because of that, I didn't want a symmetrical corner, so I actually did this one. Again, this is not standard, but because I wanted to avoid a kind of mirrored position, this is why I went here. Extends. And then I figured it was just good enough to extend. Yeah. So she gets a bigger corner and sente, but I get a much higher wall. Yeah, so I would say it's still even. So she plays right in the middle of the side. I think this is the first questionable move. I would expect a move a little bit closer to this wall, but not super close that it's gonna be detrimental for black. Because if white were to counter extend, you can see that this extension here is very wide. Later on, black can actually come in. And after this move, if black just jumps up, you can see black's looking at this peep here. So white jumps up. And you can see that white's wall, that was quote-unquote thickness, is now next to nothing. And the bottom right is still open. So I was expecting this sort of move. I see this move in pro games. I don't really see amateurs adopting this move yet, but I think it's a good move. Either that or play low, because when white counter extends and black extends, this is the proper extension here. It again leaves a weakness here, and let's say white does something else. Later on, black can look to go here, and because this stone is low, there's an obvious connection here, or a very clear connection. So this means black has three options with this stone: can come into the corner, can jump out, or connect underneath. But when it's like this, and white, this is the game, and when white counter extends, black can do this, but you can see when now black can only come up or jump to the corner, because the stone is on the fourth line, so there's not a clear connection between these two black stones. And after this, because it's on the fourth line, this move is now kind of what I would expect. Again, black can also play this move, and I think it would be fine. But in the game, black attached. And I wedged, so I didn't want to Hane. Because after this, when black blocks, so I can't push and cut, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe this is fine. Hane, connect. Black would probably give up something, but black would probably be fine with that. It's actually pretty complicated. Black just fixes. Yeah, maybe there'd be a trade, but maybe it's not too bad for white. So maybe black can't do this, but even if, let's say, black can do that and I need to protect, I still get Sente, and the corner is actually pretty fixed after I play this move here. Black does get a very thick position, which could hinder my stones here, so I would need to add a stone here. Black could also directly do this, and this is probably pretty good for black actually, because there's not that many points by playing here. If anything, this move kind of forces white to protect the corner, so black really doesn't want to force white to do that. So even if black just blocks, if white crawls, even if black extends once more, or maybe peeps first and crawls once more, the corner's still open. White's getting third line territory when black had a huge moyo on the right side, so this is pretty good. Yeah, so because black can just jump back, and I think it's pretty good. You can see if white goes here, black maybe won't go here. Black could later just come into the corner. So only play moves that you know you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I didn't like this, so that's why in the game I decided to wedge. Now this does depend on a ladder in most cases, where black Atari's from the inside, Atari, and then connect. Now, if white just extends, and black comes up, you can see white comes this way, black and Atari, and this ladder works for black. But if white extends, black can extend. So the best white can actually, so this move is slack, and white definitely doesn't want to go here, because it would give black more forcing moves. Oops. Like that. So whenever this situation comes up, you don't want to cut. The move you want to look for is the clamp. Kind of saying, okay, black, if you come down, then I can cut and capture 2 stones as opposed to just 1. So white would get more points. But black can extend up, but then white will crawl in the second line. And you might be like, well, why would you crawl in the second line when you can capture here? It's, again, going here, it does not give black forcing moves. Whereas if you go here, not only is this move forcing, potentially, but also this move. So you're limiting the forcing moves. Something like this. But again, these 2 stones are very important for white. So that wouldn't be good. Now, I played this because I was not afraid of this co-variation. So like if black just connects, I can extend, and this would be pretty good for white. This shape is in an awkward, is not only awkward shape, but in an awkward spot with this corner. And white's getting a pretty good compensation on the upper right. So black would probably like to play the co. In most cases, you want to Atari here to start the co. And that's because if you lose the co, these 2 stones, they're light, I should say. Whereas if you lose the co with this shape, you can see that this stone at S10 is not very helpful. You'd rather have this stone at R11. So that's why usually when this sort of co shape comes up, you want to Atari here. And then if white connects, then you can connect. But because of the stones at R16, I still think it's not great for black. Because white will just happily extend like this and cut the two. So in this case, I think black's only choice would be to cut here. But black would probably make co-threads first. Try to make co-threads first, but white would probably still just ignore and fill. Again, the composition on the right side is really big. And even if white answers once, you know, it's still pretty good for white. So, black's other choice of co-threads, is to play this cut here, but again, it's because these stones in the corner still have a ton of ogi, white would happily give these up. So I was not afraid of the ko, but actually the ko is unnecessary because there's actually a move here white can play. When white comes down like this, so white can actually descend here. And I said, well, if black connects, white extends, black comes up, white needs to fix, and then this sort of thing happens. But at this point, white can actually hane. And notice when black plays here, this is no longer a ladder. So black cannot capture the cutting stones in a ladder. But what if black extends? White can actually then play the goblin's nose, Teisuji. And you can see if black descends to cut white off, white can cut. And you can see that all of a sudden these 3 black stones only have 2 liberties, and these 3 white stones have 3, so white's ahead in the liberty race. So because of this move, white can actually play this hane here. Then there's really nothing else black can do. Like, maybe if black thinks black can go here, white can actually just come up. And again, it's very difficult for black. So I only saw this post game, so like while I was reviewing this game, but so I probably wouldn't have extended down, but it's good to know when you're reviewing to see where you could have played. So yeah, white could go here. But that didn't happen. But that's good to point things like that out. But black didn't even play on the inside and just plays very simply. And then just connects. I take my stone. And then, so I get 5th line territory, pretty solid. Black has a solid outside shape though. And then black plays here. So I think either black should just fix or play a little more aggressively here. This move leaves a cut behind, which that means if white gets to move over here, white would be able to cut. And it's actually very difficult for black to handle this. Yeah. But I can now see black's trying to play a center-oriented game. So I Atari here. And usually I would just descend. But since black's playing a center-oriented game, I knew they would go here next. Which, while it's not directly sente, has a pretty huge follow-up if I ignore of this clamp. So I didn't want that. And since I knew they were playing center-oriented, I knew they would not answer this move locally, or like protect against this descent. So that's why actually I played this one. So it's more solid on the left, or on the bottom side. And when black goes here, you can notice it's not sente, or it doesn't have a huge follow-up. Another thing to note about this move is, let's say black does defend. If I want to get into the center, the best I can do is just come up, and like even if I hane, black can cut. And then a huge fight would happen. So the best I can do is something like this, and then yeah, so you can see I can't really get into black's center that much. But by playing here, if black ignores, then I can actually jump here because I've protected at h2. So this is also kind of forcing, quote unquote, forcing black, because my follow-up is more severe, kind of forcing black to play here. So I have a solid shape on the bottom, and now I can just come into the open area, which I do. I invade here. And then they play a move I'd never seen before, actually. Is this move. Yeah, usually it's just coming on the third line. Again, playing this move leaves this white stone with only two options. This stone can either run out into the center or come into the corner. When you play here, white can still come out into the center, but also, and come out into the corner, but also can run under on the left side. So this stone is actually very light this way. So you're putting less pressure on the white stone. But again, I only knew what to do when this move happened, you know, like you do this, blah, 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 you get into this sort of variation. But when it was like this, not that I panicked or freaked out, but all I saw was if I do anything, basically I did not like this move for black, especially when they're playing a center-oriented game. So I kind of automatically jumped up. Yeah. I think I could still just come down or just attach, but because I didn't want black to get that perfect line, I wanted to jump. So in this case, I think black should, let's see, maybe kick and then lean. Really put pressure on the white stones. Black's going to lose something in the corner, but black is already, you know, black's kind of trying to play a center-oriented game. Like, black could go here, but white would just attach and reduce black. Yeah. I think this is playable, though, if black wants to kind of put the most pressure on white. This is kind of just saying, okay, my center's big enough. You can take your advantage in the corner where I take a big center. But that didn't have. Black just jumped. In general, when you have a fourth stone line, it's kind of slack just to jump into the center. You really want to think about playing a lean, at least. That's because it's more forceful. You can see if white ignores, black's follow-up is much more severe. Whereas when it's like this, your best follow-up is to play a move like this, which is kind of soft. So this move is more forceful, kind of forcing white. Okay, are you really going to let me cover directly? And again, because black is so strong, black should not be worried about any cuts, because black has a wall here. Plus, later on, this move is a very annoying move for black. You can see white would be able to make pretty light shape. If black Ataris, it would be a ko. If black just connects, then white would be able to make something happen pretty easily on this side. So that's another reason why this fourth line move is not so good, because it leaves this weakness, but also why this move is not so good. At least kick first, like so. I jump, so I attach. They descend. I think this is a good decision. If we play the quote-unquote normal variation, I think in this case white would actually just descend, as opposed to doing this one. Although, no, white would still do this one probably, because black, this move Sente. Actually, can black just go here? Maybe white would do this one first. Yeah, white would do this first. Black probably goes there, but then white can fix. Yeah. It actually seems not too bad for both players, actually. Okay. So you can see that this move, I should just take my advantage here. Don't get freaked out by this move. So maybe black could have Haned. I'm not sure, but black just ascents. Now, I wanted to play here, but when black just comes back and protects, I didn't see a clear way to connect. Like if I go here, black can cut across basically immediately. And I can't do this one. Same issues. Although in this case, black can't directly cut, can they? Because if they... Actually, they can cut here. Yeah. If they cut this side, this would be a mistake, because white can squeeze here. Oops. Yeah. Take first. Nope. Take first. Atari. And then net. Or just ladder. But black can cut here, and you can see if white tries the same thing. When black takes here, you can see this is an Atari. That's why we need to take, but then black can say. So yeah, after this cut, it's kind of hard for white. Even if white plays this one, black can just connect. So yeah, that wouldn't be so good. So because of that, I just did this variation. I'm not a big fan of this variation, especially once I jump. Hane. Yeah. So they fix. So that you definitely Atari. There's no way white can ignore. Even if white Hanes once and then connects. White Hanes, you actually wouldn't need to add a move. The Hane is too big. But even if white doesn't Hane there, if white ignores, this move is very annoying. Because after this exchange, black can attach here. So I really do need to add a move, and maybe this isn't too bad. It's a decent amount of points, but yeah, maybe this isn't so bad. I should just fix. Maybe this isn't too bad. But black went here. It's a very big move. Thank you. And then black capped again. If black had done this move instead, and we go into the same variation, like so, you can see that black playing here is much better, much stronger. Puts more pressure on the white stone. Black stones are stronger. But in the game, when black jumps, you can see black can only cap. So it's a little worse. But now I can see black. Okay, black has a pretty big center. White definitely is big, leading on points. So I have peep just to see how they answer. If they connected, which is what I was expecting, I was just going to jump. Maybe they jump, and then we'd just be a big happy family. Both players just get what they want. But they actually capped. Which this is actually a pretty decent move, because this move is actually looking at this peep. So black is actually looking at this white group here, but also kind of saying, okay, white, cut me. Now, turns out I should just cut, because black has its weaknesses on both sides. Maybe black goes there once, but it's not super easy for either side. Right, something like this maybe. But again, I cut black, so black needs to worry about both sides. But I was just thinking about, okay, let me get out of there. So I just played here, kind of saying, okay, black, if you connect now, I will still just connect back. Again, black would then be able to look at this move, though, and maybe jump. So this, again, I still think isn't too bad for black. But black says, no, you are going to die. So now I cut. Yeah, and black fixes on this side, but then I can cut the knight's move. Hane here. Yeah, can't really do this. Because even though white can't do anything super aggressive, neither can black. Like black can't do this, because white would just cut on that side. Black attaches, white would just Hane. not really much black can do. So that would be bad for black. So that's why in the game, black just, for the meantime, says, okay, I'll just give those up. I just extend back. So in the game, black immediately tries to save, which Atari's and then connects. So if I just connect here, you can see black and Atari and cut. But you can see white's compensation. White has solidified the bottom and the right side, whereas black is only going to capture 2 stones. And especially after playing P12, black's going to be super over-concentrated. So this is what happened in the game. So even though you can save these 2 stones, it might not be the right timing. So black shouldn't look to directly play here. Black should look at moves like this. If white responds, then when black tries to save, you can see it'll be a little different. Maybe. Let's see. Disconnect. You'll see it at least be a little different. And again, I don't know the best move here for black. Like maybe this one's better. Oops. Maybe this one's better. But some sort of attachment to kind of feint white to think about both situations. Like black doesn't care which one black gets, but white has to be the one to be careful about both. When black just does this, so again, black can save these 2 stones, but you can see white's compensation is too big. Cut, then Atari. Black connects. So the point of this move is if I try to capture, black would get this move in Sente. Even if I do this, black could still come up and I would kind of need to still add a move. So the issue with this move though is I can just Atari first and then come down anyway. So black lost the chance to play there. So black should just play here. And then if white takes, then black can turn their attention to the top. Because again, if white ignores, when black takes, now white's actually in some trouble. Right, white does not have a lot of liberties, so black tried to play in a better order of moves, but played in the, unfortunately, the worst order of moves because white got this Atari, and then I was able to come down anyways. And then black played here, so definitely this is like, okay, black's clearly a little desperate because I was not like, I was like, okay, where's black gonna play? Maybe black kicks, maybe black peeps, maybe black will cut here. You know, I was looking at all these moves, maybe connect, or connect there, I mean. But this move was just not on my radar at all because I just thought it was a little, really crazy, like unexpected. But then I was looking at the board more and I'm like, okay, it's kind of understandable actually. Especially, so black gave up a lot with saving these 2 stones. So even though you can save stones, you have to make sure that it's what you actually want. Because again, black saved the 2 stones here. But in the process, saved these 2 stones, but in the process gave white a ton of points on the bottom right. And also in this, white is now going to reduce black's center pretty easily. Now, of course, I should just go here. Well, first I did this to see if black wants to save those. And they do. And I should just go here. Again, if black goes here, I can just play here, and it's very simple. Alright. Black is just dead in the corner. There's just nothing black can do. Black goes there, just descend, and then play here, and yeah. Just nothing black can do. There's no moves black can play to live. So that's just very simple. But I don't know why I played on this side, which it's still fine, but it gives black a lot more options on the bottom. So black plays here. Of course, play here. If black saves, then I'm able to turn and just kill these stones. like so. So black can't do that, but black can Hane on this side. So, yeah, because again, there's this cut in the center I have to worry about. So I kind of want to capture these 3 stones, but I don't want to let black live on the bottom. I'm curious, if I just go here, I think it's just better. Maybe. Connect. Black Hanes, maybe go here. Then I can go here. Go here. And extend. Yeah, so there's much better ways to kill this. But I was, again, this was my linear reading. So this is props to black. I was just like, oh, they have to go here now. There's no other move. But of course there are always other moves. So always remember that. Because now if I just go here, black will Atari. And then even if black just comes back, it's not a terrible reduction. Not a terrible reduction at all. Maybe black can't do that, but you get the idea. Maybe black can go there. White then can come there. Or do this one. You can see it's a reduction, which is a nice reduction. So instead I went here. Again, I still think black can just give up those stones. Because this is Sente. So this would be even worse for white. So black can just come back and protect. Yeah, so this move's just not that good. Don't play this move. Maybe I should just extend. Yeah, just extend. But I don't think black's alive. Although maybe black might be alive. Well, black actually can't do that yet. So, yeah, there's just better ways to do this. I was just thinking one-dimensionally. Again, I should probably go here. I go here. Again, I think black can just get out of Dodge's way and just come back and protect, but black goes here. So I could protect. Then they Atari, but then I go here. Which is actually another mistake. I should clamp. Because black can't go here. Because I can still go here. Because if they Atari, I can Atari. And even though black can cut here, Atari. Black only has 3 liberties. It's actually going to be hard for black to get more liberties against these stones. So, because of that, that's just better. Yeah, if black goes here, I get Atari. Yeah, so I should just go here, but I went here. Black extended and I went here. And again, I was looking at this and it's like, oh, that group's dead. And my opponents thought so too in the game, and they extended. I wedged. Then they go here, but then I could just play here. Now locally, black's dead. Atari. Yeah, and this is actually where they resigned, is right here, after they realized that they can't live. But black can actually live by going here. Because even though it looks like white can go here, when black plays here, notice if white takes out the eye, because of this situation, this is actually a real eye. Because of this weird Atari and capture sort of situation. And white's unable to play here because white needs to Atari this way and then connect. But then white can go play this one. If white blocks, black will Atari, and you can see this ko is unwinnable for white. Yeah, it's just, there's no way white can win this ko. Yeah, because white connects directly, white would die, so white needs to fix, but then black, this move is an Atari. So yeah, that wouldn't be good. So yeah, if black had gone here, black would live. Yeah. So again, still, I'll probably come up here next to fix the top, and it would still be a interesting game at this point. But you can see how basically I played every wrong move here. This move's wrong. This move's wrong. This move is wrong. Yeah, I should. Well, this move's quote unquote right, but this move is wrong, and yeah. So I think black really let me off the hook here. Like, I played a lot of bad moves here. And then we both misread this. So, yeah, at the time I was like, oh, I played pretty well. Because, again, I didn't see any of these other variations in the game. But turns out, no, I did not play very well. Overall, I think it was a good game. But this ending situation when I played like 4 or 5 bad moves in a row is not good. Not good. And at this point, this is a lot to lose, but it still feels worth it to try to attack this at least a little bit as black, just to see what would happen. Again, it is very difficult, but I think it'd be worth it, at least to try. But again, can't blame them. It may have felt demoralized after that as well. But yeah, that was my second round game of the 2020 Midwest Open. So yeah, 2-0. 2-0. So doing well so far. I've been playing 3-dans. Oh yeah, speaking of 3-dan, so this person is actually 2Q AGA. But thankfully Devin let them enter the upper division. Because if they were able to play in the self-pair division, they probably wouldn't by a large margin. And we were talking, you know, because she didn't know her actual rank, and we kind of just stumbled on 3-dan, but like she was saying how she's like 6-dan on Fox Go server, which is pretty strong. Like I know 5-dan AGAs who are 6-dan on Fox, but we settled on 3-dan. So yeah, 2-0. All the other, see, I've been playing 3-dans, so I should be going into. Everyone else who's 2-0 are like 6-dans and 5-dans. So my next match I knew would be pretty. I need to bring my best game to win. This is actually the end of day 1 of the tournament. So the rest of the time for the day was mini games. I actually held a fun guess the next pro move game for people. Had about a dozen people watching. More than a dozen people, but it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments about the game, please let me know in the comment section. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.